Young heat on the track.
Yeah, yeah. You and I, baby. Yeah. You are my pretty baby. You are my pretty baby. If you leave, I'll follow, let's go. It really doesn't matter, by your side I'll roll. Let's roll. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You are my pretty baby. You are my pretty baby. You know, if you leave, I'll follow, let's go. It really doesn't matter, by your side, let's roll.
Hey, pretty brown eyes, you like a walking fantasy. I love your chocolate brown skin and them white teeth. Got me daydreaming and I'm about to break my abstinence. I must be patient though and exercise and forbearance. Got my attention and you do not use the book or press. I see you flexing, babe. You better than the rest. I love the creases in your jeans and you prepared right. I love your cocoa butter skin and your hair is fire. Your aura's glistening. Plus you love your kids, also a family man. You all about your biz. You got me feeling like Alicia when she messed with. Well educated with a style like Jada Kiss. Hope I can make you mine. Hope you ain't got no wife. These other brothers out here can be so trite. But I'm just looking and I'm playing, but I'm kinda not. You charismatic and I'm about to open up that spot.
Yeah. My pretty baby. My pretty baby. If you leave, I'll follow, let's go. It really doesn't matter, by your side I'll roll.
Hey, pretty smooth skin, you like a message from above. The way you talk, the way you walk, you only get love. Already visualize that we gon' spend some time. Cabernet, Sauvignon, you just like fine wine. I really must admit, baby, you so enriched. Whether in locks or curls, I see you in my world. Let's put this thing in motion. Together we'll explore. No rush, let's take it slow. That's how you make real grow.
Yeah. My pretty baby. My pretty baby. If you leave, I'll follow, let's go. It really doesn't matter, by your side I'll roll. Yeah. My pretty baby. My pretty baby. If you leave, I'll follow, let's go. It really doesn't matter, by your side, let's roll. My pretty baby. My pretty baby. If you leave, I'll follow, let's go. It really doesn't matter, by your side, let's roll.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut, E.T. Ren I Shakandugu Kemet. Now, it's the first time that I think it's the first time ever that I do an interview. The sister's there already. I'm just about to introduce her for those who don't know her. So, it is none other than the author of the book Switching Stages, the Get Hip manuscript. This is Sister Alexis A. Littlejohn, that we usually call Alex Little, which is the name of her YouTube channel. Now, Alexis was born and raised in Michigan and is a proud mother of two fabulous and well rounded children. She enjoys cooking, writing, counseling, and anything to do with engaging people. Alexis graduated with honors from Siena Heights University with her Master's of Arts in Clinical Mental Health in 2018 and was certified through LARA and the Counseling Board Department in the state of Michigan in 2019. Her goal is to bring awareness, share love, encourage others, exemplify, inspired, and do it all in sincerity. Her personal slogan and mantra is be real while you're here. And she shares this philosophy with others wherever she goes. Let's hear. It's time to switch the stage. So now it's my pleasure to introduce you to our sister, Alex Little. Peace, sister.
Peace, Shaka Hotep. How you doing?
Hotep, I'm doing well. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because the people don't know, but I did contact you with this idea of doing an interview. You were not available at the time. Then you got back to me. I was not available, but nobody tripped. And then I proposed a date, and now we're making it happen.
Back.
So feel free, even though I've made a small introduction, feel free to introduce yourself as you please to the family.
Excellent. Peace and blessings to the family, my Aunt Faber channel. Wonderful platform. I'm thankful to be here and share this space and energy with you all. Yes, Alexis Littlejohn is my name. Alex Little is synonymous with who I identify as. And I want to discuss the reason why I wrote this book and share some things in it with others as a tool for us all to heal on our own personal journey. So, Shaka, not many people know how you and I met. I came across your channel a couple years ago throughout my healing process, and it allowed me to really explore and discover some things to get me to where I am right now too. So that's something I wanted to share with viewers. We never know who we'll meet on our independent journey and how it will impact us and how it will allow us to develop through our own journeys and process. So good to be here.
All right. Please, I want the family not to mind me if you see me looking away. It's not that I'm not interested. I have a little girl. I have my daughter she's a real troublemaker. Well, there we go. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm having an interview here, so don't mess it up.
Yes.
So
yes. Busy. I have a 3-year-old son, so I know. I screamed so much this morning. Nobody knows. I sit down, and they hear you. They hear you the first time, Shaka.
They know, and it's the same. That's why I put on mute, because I don't want people
Right.
to hear me screaming.
Right. I'm not even at home, so I'm free for the moment.
Oh well, that was a great technique. That was a great technique.
Yeah.
Now, what I would like to do, because sometimes we tend to forget to do that at the end. So what I would like to do is, first of all, share the link to Alex Little's book. So
Thank you.
it's in the chat now. You're welcome. And by the way, Sister Alex Little is also a moderator. So when I do live stream, she moderates with a few sisters, a couple other sisters. So now I'm sharing Alex Little's YouTube channel. You can check out her videos. And now I'm sharing Alex Little's website, BeRealWhileYou'reHere.com. And I don't know if you want me to share the email. It's showing on your YouTube page, but I don't know. So
Yeah, it's probably on the website, so that's fine. That's okay.
Well, on the website, it's actually a different one. On the website, it's like the Be Real While You're Here, the Gmail.
Yeah,
but on YouTube, okay, because I did take note of the other one.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
Either or is fine.
It's fine. You sure?
Mhm.
Okay, so now if you wish to contact the sister,
She's
there it is.
busy.
Busy, yes.
This is funny because I panic when that happens with me. So seeing you handle it in real time, like it's real. We're parents. Hi.
I know. I think
Hi.
she'd be quieter with me.
Oh. Hi. Yeah. She's gonna love you. You're doing a good job. It's not easy. It's challenging, but you're doing the work now. This is the down
Mm,
payment for her future. So
mm,
continue to thrive and strive. You're
mm,
there intentionally. So
mm.
woosah.
So, I must say, really, I have to be fair.
Hmm.
The mother does most of the job.
Mom
It's a
holds it
reality.
down. We'll
Yeah,
go,
it's a
mom.
reality.
Go,
It's a
mom.
reality. Now, just for the record, I want to tell the people that I remember once you left a comment on one of my videos, and out of curiosity, I went on your channel and I saw that spoken word video,
Hmm.
and then I think you left another comment sometimes later on,
Hmm.
and then I saw you had a video, um, um, broken wings. Is it no
Broken
broken
road.
road?
Hmm.
Broken road. And I was like, I really love the video,
Thank you.
and the the whole vibe, and the fact that it was talking about challenge of being in a unhealthy relationship. And later on, you started, coming to the live streams, and we got in touch, we communicated. And then I remember when I read your book, because it's that part when you talk about all the hardship that you went through. Because I think I think most people, most women, when they get into a abusive relationship, I think it would be mainly one abusive relationship or maybe two. But you actually went through so many abusive relationship. And I remember telling you one day, we spoke on the phone, and I was telling you, as I'm reading this chapter, these parts where you describe how you physically abused, I feel sorry for you. And you told me, oh, don't feel sorry for me, and so on. But it's like, so this is the book here, and it is I could describe it as raw. It's real. It's very personal, because I don't want to say too much, of course, because I don't want to make any spoilers.
Mhm.
But maybe I should start asking you, what made you decide to write that book?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Yes, it is very raw, very graphic, very real, and very transparent. So this book was put on my heart a couple years ago. I just didn't make time to sit down and get it out. And I had to like write the vision, make it plain. I knew that I wanted to share my story in a tasteful way, a portion of my story for my own personal healing throughout my journey. And I wanted to do it in a way to where it empowered and equipped and inspired other people. So I knew that writing would free me and give me a voice on the days I couldn't speak. So writing has always been a strong suit, Shaka, and being able to get out what I felt, what I experienced, what I was processing, what I overcame in real time gave me a toolkit and a set and a method to release and relax and renew in real time on my journey. So for me, writing the book was about my own personal healing. And if I can help other people, that's wonderful. That's what it's about. So for me, it wasn't necessarily monetary. If I make a couple bucks, cool. However, allowing myself to utilize this book and be therapy for me and to help other people at the same time is everything. So I wrote the book because I knew it was in me. I knew it was necessary. It was about creating time and being in alignment and on a frequency of the right time to be effective, to allow the book to reach whoever, whenever, and however they were supposed to be reached by it. So I think it's very important that we're honest first and foremost with ourselves. Not everyone uses social media for personal uh, transparency, and that's fine. However, I find for my truth to be, and many others who have shared their testimonies as well, or overcoming certain scenarios or obstacles, when we see one another overcome or come through and go above and beyond certain circumstances, it gives another person the motivation to say, wow, look what that person overcame. And not only that, but I feel like I have the strength now too. Or wow, Shaka, people say, thank you, Alexis, for sharing what you went through, because I did too. I just didn't know how to say it. And it's so rewarding when we can take time and sit still and be accountable and responsible and do the introspection and self reflection and say, you know what? These behaviors are no longer serving the person I am becoming. Let me have some responsibility and change my behavior and switch the stage and my perspective out of an impoverished mentality to a healthier lifestyle that's beneficial and not maladaptive. And that's what it was about. I knew the book was in me. I knew the book was in my heart. It was just about the right timing to release it.
All right, I had to mute myself because a baby girl.
Yeah.
So, as I understand it, if I make a brief summary,
Mhm.
we could say maybe that it's twofold. That it was therapy for you, and it was also to help people. Because I really like, I'm sorry, the cover. Of course, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but this shows a transition.
Mhm.
So you have a picture there, and you have, so that was then, and that is now. Shh. And really, there's some. Once again, I don't want to make any spoilers, but some things that sometimes some decisions that female make that they end up regretting because it's a very serious issue, and in your case, it happened more than once. And I was quite surprised that you would go that far into sharing these kind of personal details and situations. But what the main idea that I keep from this book is that we all go through stuff, and sometimes we don't have a clue, but other people go through way worse than we have gone. I mean, when I read your story, you went through so much. And when I saw your music videos, when I heard you talking, when you intervened during the live stream, I wouldn't have guessed that you have gone through so much hardship.
Right.
I mean, I made a quick list of the issues that you had to deal with. So you had your family who was not too much on your side, for lack of better words. Not all your family members, but there were some issues. But you'll be able to clarify. I'm just really making a brief summary.
Mhm.
You had to deal with religion. You had to deal with racial identity. I'm sorry, because I remember this is one of the part from the book that I think I will always remember because it is so touching. Is that part, when your mother was in the car and she told you, I never been ashamed of you, you
Mhm.
know, and substance abuse. You've been through that,
Mhm.
and I would have never guessed, once again that you would have been to all that, and the
Mhm.
domestic violence. It was severe. It
Mhm.
was severe, and it lasted for a long time. But ultimately, in your own words, there was a breaking, there was a healing, the wilderness, and finally the redemption. And the wilderness is a time period where really you used to be on your own, used to be alone. Sometimes it might be necessary because there's a peer pressure. Sometimes we want to appeal to people or we want to please people. But it's good to think about us, about the self also, to rebuild ourselves. So, what would you say briefly about the issues with, let's say, the family, and or the racial identity? Because this is
Excellent.
something that you touched on in your book.
Yeah, excellent. What a mouthful. And thank you for the opportunity to even present such a wonderful birthing, right? I just want to say thank you for everyone who's viewing right now and listening, because Shaka, right now, we don't know who this message will come across. There could be a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 30-year-old, somebody suicidal that's tuning in, somebody who is on their last uh, hope. So we never know. But what I want to say is also too, when I decided to write this book, Shaka, it came to me like an epiphany. I picked the title, Switching Stages. That's it. And when I thought about the title, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick a picture from when I used to dance, exotic dance, and I want that picture on the front cover. And then I want another picture where I'm a little bit more sophisticated next to it. And it's not about switching that type of stage. It's about switching stages from an impoverished mentality. So this photo, just for clarification, it's no knock against any woman, any man, anybody in the adult industry, entertainment, exotic dancing, no knock. So to clarify that, switching stages from an impoverished mentality that has to do with a warped interpretation of one's self-concept. Yes, heavy information, Shaka. What I find in regards to religion, one of the things I wrestled with for a very long time, and also too my self-identity, having a white mother and a black father, African in America. It was really difficult for me to actually figure out and self-actualize, who am I? My parents don't match. There's a part of me that needs to be nurtured and reinforced. There's something lively here that's not getting equipped from the correct point of origin. So there's a lot of different things I've had to mull over for a long time. And I'm finally at a space to where it's getting balanced out and I'm able to live my truth in real time and help other people and empower them through certain things I went through. As far as switching stages, yes, there are 5 chapters, the breaking, the healing, the wilderness, the you, and the redemption. And it's so interesting, Shaka, because when I thought about writing this book and finally sat down during last spring when COVID first was really rampant, a lot of social distancing took place. And I had utilized that time to finally sit down and say, okay, let me get this story out. And it came to me immediately. I thought, you know what? 4 chapters, 30 pages each, the breaking, the healing, the wilderness, the redemption. And the 5th chapter, Shaka, I said, you know what? Let me write a 5th chapter called You, where I specifically speak to the reader in positive present disposition, not past. I have done this. Okay, that's cool. Not future, I will be great. Okay, that's cool. No, right now, speaking to the reader, I am beautiful. I am valuable. I am dignified. I am enough. I am courageous. And in doing so, inadvertently, another vision was manifested in the book, because the chapter Breaking, Healing, Wilderness, You, Redemption ended up being an acronym: Be Real While You Heal. So I said, wow, look at that. Another mantra is birthed from my obedience, from answering the calling to release some of the things I overcame to help other people have a guideline and a manuscript to utilize through their journey. So really allowing myself the space to have the self-awareness, Shaka, and self-awareness in itself, one's conscious knowledge of their character, of their feelings, of their motives, of their desires. Your character, who are you? Your feelings, how do you function through the world and sense? Your motives, why do you do what you do? Your desires, the things you want. Really having that self-awareness and saying, you know what? What am I doing and why am I doing it? And what purpose is it serving? And I had to look at religion and different constraints and regiments and things I put into my life, rules, and really figure some things out and say, what's working for me and what's not working for me. And in switching stages, I share some of those things that we don't talk about openly. We don't talk about things in the Black community, church, sect specifically. We're not talking about how to heal and deal with abortion. Abortion is the number one killer. They're attacking the womb now. And I firmly know my truth to be, had there had been other options presented, and perhaps me being not as fearful or embarrassed, or the sting of the stigma of being a single mother, I probably would have chose a different option. So again, we need to talk about these things, because there are many women who have come to me and said, Alexis, I've had 2, I've had 5, without shame. And I say that to say, the more we open up and share our testimonies, the more we can help other people heal. So there's not suicide behind the sting of the choice that might have not been the best option for that individual. Divorce can decimate a family. It's one thing when 2 people split, but when there's children involved and there's step parents and stepchildren, it's difficult to move above and beyond. Not everyone processes things the same way. One experience for someone, Shaka, might be detrimental and a huge blow. But for someone else, it might be a different degree and a different depth to where they're able to rebound and have a little bit more resilience. But it's up to each individual to figure out how they heal and have the right to heal their way, their time, and even be able to identify that there's a healing that needs to take place. As far as domestic violence, there are men and women right now who don't even know to identify the abuse they're experiencing, and they live that way daily. For me, I found my enough, and that was enough. But there are other people who might not be in a similar situation as I, and might not be able to jeopardize or release or find strength to remove themselves from that situation. And there's also abusers who want to stop but don't know how. So I just felt like talking about things like that, substance abuse, whether it's sex, overeating, cocaine, lean, marijuana, pills, alcohol, whatever it is that is causing one to be maladaptive, to where your job's at risk, your mental stability is at risk, your longevity is at risk. There's severe neglect, abuse, not only with yourself, your children, your spouse, your family. Anything that's going to cause us to degrade and that's injurious or puts us at risk isn't okay. And it's okay to say, you know what? These things served me at one point in time, but I'm losing control. And I desire balance, Shaka. And when I hear Mayat forever and I wear my onks, I have to operate within that understanding. I have to live that truth. I have to live that justice, that righteousness. Do I operate in balance? Am I overeating? Am I overthinking? Am I overdrinking? Is it too much coffee? Am I operating in harmony? Am I eating right? Am I exercising? And the reciprocity. What am I putting out? What is coming back to me? Am I putting out a prayer or a petition that is going to empower and impact? Or am I sitting and seething, thinking about low-level frequency situations that no longer exist, that are causing me to be my lower self? So it's real. And my main thing again was writing the book was healing for me and therapy for me to speak about these things. Yes, I did X, Y, Z. Am I proud? Of course not. Am I shameless? I have no shame. I released shame. I'm not proud of everything, but I've done the work and I've released it. And there's so much beauty I've given, I can create, I can experience, and I can share. And that's the choice I choose to make today in my ever-ending journey as I switch each stage in personal growth and personal development. So yes, it's a very raw read. I believe that people are like, oh yeah, Alex, I'll support you. I'll get your book, $20, no problem. And then they read the first chapter and they're blubbering or they're paralyzed and they're like, oh shit, which is the acronym Shift Higher in Thought in the book. But they're like, oh shit, I have to do my own work here. Or they find themselves being triggered subconsciously from childhood trauma they never addressed or they didn't know what was there. So it's just a wonderful experience in real time just to see a portion of my story. I shared some things that are raw, but you know what? Ayanla Vincent shared 7 months into her pregnancy. Her spouse broke her jaw with the bed frame. So when I hear things like that, I'm like, damn, look at her now. So we never know what someone goes through. And we might not never know our mother's trauma, our father's trauma, generational behaviors, not generational curses, behaviors that need to be identified, addressed, released, and rerouted. So it's all about empowerment and it's about growth, Shaka. And I'm thankful that your channel has assisted me with releasing some of the religious constraints I thought I had to conform to and allow me to see the original origin and the blueprint from which it came from and go back. Not throwing everything away, but recognizing, oh, okay, now I can release some of these things that have been a narrative in the back of my mind holding me hostage.
Now, I would like to ask you, what were the reactions from the people who know you, whether they are family or friends, and who might not necessarily know the things that you went through? Because I presume some of your family members and close friends kind of knew the things you went through. But what about those who knew you but had no clue of all the things that you went through? Did you have some feedback from some of them?
Yeah, there was a lot of feedback actually. There's been a lot of positive feedback. I think there was like one coworker who was just like, "Wow, you're brave," and that's great. But what I will say that I've learned just recently, I'm actually utilizing in my personal affairs, Shaka, because you're an Aries, you have that composed, unbothered, just reserved, impenetrable, and I'm learning still. I am completely independent of the good or the bad opinions of other people. So whether someone has something great to say or not so kind to say, either way it goes, my self-concept and internal dialogue is going to be the number one focal point in my mind. So with that being said, I did have a sibling who didn't really know. And it took her time to process, and that's great. It allows her to see me in a different light now as the person I am. And we're all human beings first. There were a couple friends from church who cried and who were happy and proud that I released and shared. And they too shared some things that they went through that I didn't experience that I thought, wow, whoa. So again, depending upon the depth and degree of what the experience is, it impacts each person differently. My mother was very proud of me. She cried. I don't know if my father read it yet. My stepdad, I believe he read with his wife. She's very proud of me. Just a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people saying and opening up, I did that too, or that happened too, or, thank you for sharing. So a lot of silent praise in the sense of people felt comfortable that I shared my truth so that it gave them a tool and allowed them to say, wow, me too. So a lot of women, Shaka, particularly some men too, but particularly a lot of women have opened up and said, hey, this has happened to me. Or clients, we just never know. We never know. And they might not be in the same situation, but they had a similar scenario that broke their spirit and also fragmented them in a significant way. So it's just it's very interesting. A lot of positive feedback though. And again, that shock factor. Sometimes we see people and we're like, oh wow, well, they're a doctor, they're a pastor, they're a lawyer, they're a dentist. They're so prestigious. You don't know what they struggle with. You don't know. There could be some type of trauma that they keep private that plagues them hourly. So we don't know. So stripping the title and treating people as people, not your mama, not your brother, not your pastor, not that lawyer. See them as a person and address them as such and put them on the same playing field as you. Just because someone looks great externally doesn't mean that they don't have internal issues that are causing them to have heartache.
I see. I see. Now, we can always go back to the book, but there is a musical part of you, and you have a few videos out. So people might wonder, are you working on an album?
Shaka, I am. You know, it's interesting. Music has really been a beautiful exploration tool. It's allowed me just to like release, not necessarily create a persona, however, birth a vision, take circumstances, take nothing and create something. You know, it's really beautiful, I find, and I can do music. It's not my it, but it's working and I'm well at it. So I'm using it right now as a tool, as an outlet, as a creation station to listen to an instrumental, to take an instrumental, to create a chorus, to create a rap to it, to create a vision, to see it. It's really beautiful. And knowing I have the ability to do that and be a visionary and finding my way. You know, I never went into this like, I'm about to be a rap god, MC, battler, lyricist. No, I stay in my lane. I humbly bow out. I do not rap battle. I choose to not freestyle. I might do a little something, but no, it's healthy. It's a healthy, empowering tool, and I enjoy it. And one thing too, Shaka, I'm responsible. It's different now. You know, in our 30s, you know, 10 years ago, I would have been just saying anything, you know, bloop, bloop, bloop. But for me now, my truth, I recognize the importance of what I put out. And I have a teenage daughter who I'm mindful of. So with my lyrics, I tend to be a little bit more empowering and uplifting. And I do have an album I just finished, which is insane. I never even seen myself entering the music realm, but I did. I finished it, and I will share. The title of it is Taurus Moon, and I'm very excited. I actually hooked up with a sister in New York, the East Coast. I'm in the Mid Coast, and her and I met on YouTube a couple of years ago. And there are so many similarities, Shaka. You know, you meet people, and you meet your family, and your tribe comes to you. We're all on a quest of liberation and freedom. And it's so interesting. There's so many different things we have in common. We have the same first name. Our last name starts with the L. We both have two children. We both have a son and a daughter. We both have college degrees. We're both fixed signs. Like there's just so many different things. And, you know, I asked if she wanted to link up. She obliged, and we did a song together and recorded. So that particular song, it's empowering. It's a workout song. It's a little bit of profanity, but it's still, you know, it has that edge to it. But the songs that I made on this particular album, Taurus Moon, it's a very relaxed flow. I don't want to say it's conscious. No knock against conscious community. However, I'll say it's empowering, it's uplifting, it's inspirational. It has like a real continual tonality throughout all of it. It has a good frequency, a real calming, ride out, barbecue type vibe. So not really turn up, but just like real relaxing. It allows you to just be still. It allows one to be still. There is spoken word on it. There's a very beautiful spoken word poem called Cautious. There's, of course, the I can't even think of the name of it. Birth of a Nation, they say, poem I performed a couple of years ago. I put that on there. I think it's very empowering. There's a couple of different songs on there. I did a song on there with Kiambata, shout out to the God, called Ptah. And Ptah, of course, our ancient Egyptian deity, Ptah. I made an acronym from Ptah, and it's please touch and heal. So please touch and heal. So there's a spin on that, but it's very beautiful. It's very empowering. The lyrics are a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more purpose driven. They have substance. Not that the music out here we hear doesn't. what I'm putting out, I am ensuring that it's appropriate for me where I'm at right now. So it's just a very beautiful melody and a very, very beautiful vibe. And of course, there's this one beat on there from this gentleman I met in France. um, Shaka, and I got to utilize your instrumental on my intro and outro. So I think that's an amazing way as an introduction with that beat, with that frequency, just to start it out like, okay, let's go. We about to get it. Let's go. And on the end, we got it. It's done. How do you feel? So it's just about empowerment and growing. So music has really been helpful for me. It's so funny when you play that video, Pretty Baby. I was like, look at Lex, look at Lexi. Because that's like a year or two ago. And I'm like, evolving. So it's so funny seeing yourself and when you start out. And there's so many things I want to do, Shaka. There's so many things that we all can do. I'm seriously considering taking up martial arts. I really would like to take up martial arts. I feel the innate need for the discipline and the structure, and that Sekhmet spirit is real. Serket Heherumeeth. Let's go. So learning how to master myself, and self-mastery is the key for all of us, hopefully, to have a better self-concept about who we are and why we're here and where we came from and where we're going.
Well, I'm quite honored to have my beat on your album. But before I talk about martial law, when can we expect, roughly, when can we expect your album to be released?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's all about everything's actually mastered right now. I just need to talk to a couple of different people and make it happen. I want to shoot one more video and release that, but the album's literally done. The songs are sitting there. They're ready. They're available. It's just about getting it together and putting it on the platform, particularly probably my website. Oh, she's so pretty. Hi. Yeah. And just releasing it, making it happen. And also too, allowing things to happen the way they're supposed to, when they're supposed to. I write when I feel the sensation. I write when I feel the spirit talk to me from within. There's a time frame to do things. There's seasons to do things. And I recognize those and identify those because it can be more potent at specific times. And I want to make sure I'm honorable to that. And I recognize and not force things, and allow things to be spirit-led. When I say spirit-led, I specifically mean the Holy Spirit. I know that might be difficult to hear from certain people. I still feel that the Holy Spirit, the Great Spirit, works very well for me. And I identify that, and I intuitively recognize it and operate immediately whenever I feel struck in my spirit to make a move, i.e. write that book, i.e. write that paper, i.e. get this out, birth this. For me, I'm very sensitive when it comes to that, and honoring that instinct and that intuition inside to make sure that I'm releasing what I'm supposed to release when I release it. And one more example of that, Shaka, this wasn't the book I was supposed to write. The first book I was going to write, I actually started on, but I stopped. And it's so beautiful that you have your daughter on your lap right now, even if mama is the 99.99% caregiver. It's a beautiful illustration right now of her on your lap, because the original book I was supposed to write is called The Daddy-Daughter Complex. The Daddy-Daughter Complex. And I would like to write, and I still will, I intended on writing, my father a letter and my stepfather a letter, and really going over some things that just weren't, the best they could have done or been, in addition to highlighting all the beautiful memories, my dad taking me fishing, us riding around in his IROC, watching, all these movies, playing dominoes, playing spades, and my stepdad showing me how to brush my hair, telling me how to take care of my cycle, telling me how to clean out a bathtub and wash dishes and vacuum and clean up the dog poop. Two dynamic relationships from two strong African-American men. And really just talk about some things. But unfortunately, Shaka, I wasn't in the right mindset. And I said, you know what? I don't feel like honoring them right now. I just don't. I was really in my ego, and I didn't want to do it right then and there when the spirit told me to. And unfortunately, I released my book, and it was great. I've sold a couple copies. It's doing well. It's empowering people. But I found out, Shaka, that my stepfather, he had prostate cancer and has overcome it. But I also found out too that my biological father got prostate cancer. So I said, oh, had I had been sensitive to the Holy Spirit prompting me, when it prompted me, I could have said, here, dads, in their time. Do you understand what I mean? So it's important that we answer the call and we're intuitive and mindful and we recognize the shift and the stages that switch in real time. So that book is still in the making. It's still there. I am the book. You are the book. We are everything we need within. It's just about recognizing it, applying it, releasing it, and activating it.
So we didn't really get any definite estimation. Should we think about like 3 months for the album,
Oh,
or
I don't know. I mean, it's literally done. I don't know. Maybe I can make a
I mean,
call.
for the
I
release,
have a
I
couple.
understand it's almost done. Oh, and it's practically
Yeah,
done. But like, when could we expect it? Like, should we say 2 months, 3 months, or maybe more, or maybe
I'll say
less
before summer. Before summer. That's a
before
very
summer?
big guesstimate. Before summer. Yeah, everything's complete. It's just a matter of like figuring out how to do it. I have a couple different
Mm.
producers and engineers that have helped me through the process. So making a call with them and saying, hey, I have all this material. What do I do next? Boom. And then also too, there's another video I want to shoot to a song called Black Night. Black Night is a really good song. It's my favorite song on the album, actually. And I'm very, very proud of myself. And this song, I believe you heard it. And I actually switched up features on the song, but it's a really empowering song. Like, I'm speaking specifically to our Black men, encouraging our Black men, strengthening our Black men, recognizing our Black men, speaking to the spirit of the Black male. We need to be empowered. And similarly, the song Darkest, Darcus, Darkest, and shout out to Darkest Stringer, beautiful young woman I've met in the YouTube streets. Patah Amin Ra, peace and blessings. Darkest is an acronym also for Dominant, Astounding, Resilient, Charismatic, Unified Sisters. So shout out to all my Darkests out there. Darkest, I love you. Not only is it a name, but it's a movement. All of us. So the same way I, spoke to the sisters, Black Knight. And not necessarily like a knight in shining armor, but like night in general. You know what I'm saying? Activate. Go within to find that point of origin. Reach back. You can do anything you want. You put your mind to, Black man. One aim, one God, one destiny. Really fortifying and speaking to that spirit component of that individual in a nurturing, empowering, inspiring way. So to answer, definitely by summer.
Thank you. I've had a connection issue.
Yeah, no worries.
So I've missed a few seconds, but you kept going. That's good. And it's
Yeah.
not the first time it happened, actually.
Yeah.
And what I want to say just briefly about martial art is that I practiced it, and I practice Muay Thai. Well, I've started with kickboxing, and then I moved to Muay Thai. So I would recommend people to do something with the fist and the legs. So kickboxing, will be good. And amazingly, it makes you, well, me at least, and I think it's the same for all the other people. It makes people calm.
Yes.
When people, because when I used to mention Muay Thai, I mean Thai boxing, it is known as like a violent martial art, and now the strongest or harshest martial art is definitely MMA, mixed martial art, because you have everything. But before that, Muay Thai, you have the elbow, you have the knees, and so many other things. But it has helped me a lot. If I wasn't practicing it, um, I had some anger because I was going through some baby mama drama. I didn't see my son for several months, and you have some very bad thoughts.
Yeah.
And if I did not practice martial art, I would have come to I would have done some things that I would have regretted, because
Right.
it was my first child, and it's always it's having your first child. And I consider myself lucky because I had both parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with that family setting, and not only I wanted to give that same thing for my son, but it couldn't happen. So we parted ways. But she punished me for leaving her. And I never thought in my life that when I would have the child, I would spend some time without seeing him. And I spent really months without seeing him. I had to, go, you know, seek the judge to have this order so it can be official that I must see him every now and then and so on. So martial art, helped me to remain calm. And you mentioned discipline. Yes, indeed, it does give discipline, and it's good to release the toxin to just release and feel good. So indeed, it's a very good thing. I'll recommend people, and maybe for children, it might be even more useful because it can help them to be focused and balanced, and also it helps you to defend yourself because
Yeah.
it's a bit cliche, but it is true. Someone who practices martial art, I mean, you don't look at fighting the same way. It's like you have reflexes. So many things are automatic, and you when you practice it, you kind of feel safer or at least more confident. More
hmm
confident. So that being said, do would you like us to take some callers?
Actually, we could probably take one. It's almost 3 p.m. Eastern Standard
Oh,
Time here,
you have to
and
go.
I have a
Oh,
couple of different sessions this evening. But if there is
okay.
a caller, I would love to take one.
Okay, well, let's see if there's any. Like, how much time do you have before you need to leave?
I probably have about a good 7 minutes.
Oh, okay. So let's see if we can take a caller or two then. So I'm about to share the calling link. So share it.
Yeah. Shaka, I
Calling
want to
link.
say too. Oh,
Oh,
I'm
what
sorry.
happened there? Yes, go ahead, sister. Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, I wanted to say too, when I giggled because you said baby mama drama, and I giggled out of familiarity. So the actual issue isn't funny, but what I can commend you for is recognizing that you utilize martial arts the same way I'm utilizing writing, in creating, in poetry and music. So it's beautiful to even have something to use as a tool as we maneuver and pivot and navigate on our journeys. And it's funny because I was actually named after a Nicaraguan boxer, Alexis of. So boxing has been a theme. I actually have gloves at home, and I'm serious. So if I dip off of YouTube for a year and come back shredded, and I'm kicking dummies in the face, I meant what I said. So
Yeah, I mean, if it feels good, I kind of miss it. But when I move, at least I will have this. I have this bag, this standing bag, that
yeah, yeah,
I had to put away. I mean, when I was living, I was by myself, but now, I have wifey, so she said, you need to move that away. But hopefully, when we move and we have more space, I can take it out and release, use some energy. And we have a few minutes left, brothers and sisters. I would like for one of you to call. It will be good to end on that note of external point of view. But if not, it's cool, because it's been great, and I'm very happy to have done that. I'm very very happy because the sister Alex Little. Um, I feel like her heart is pure. I really see her as a sincere person,
thank you.
um, and we talk every now and then, and like everybody else, we don't agree on everything. We laugh about it sometimes. Sometimes, I'm kind of teasing her a little bit. And she. But that's how it is. We have to learn to deal with the things that when we are not on the same page. We have to learn to deal with it. And her being a single mother, and doing music, writing the book, once again, switching stages, the Get Him manuscript. She has another book, like she explained, that she might get back to, and um and she's doing counseling, right?
Yeah, I am. I am. I actually started this November. Finally, right? I was just sharing with someone not too long ago that next month will make 3 years since I've been legally able to counsel. I'm like, what was I waiting on? That was another thing too, with just religious constraints in my mind, inadequacy, doubt, fear, comparison, just these things I had to release for myself and step into my power and my calling and be who I am, right who I am. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to speak a certain way. You don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to behave a certain way. You are equipped and adequate just as you are right now in real time. And also, too, Shaka, I do want to say, shout out to my parents, shout out to my family, shout out to my church. I no longer attend. 2018, I separated and chose to choose me and release some certain things, heritage, tradition, to figure out why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm so proud of myself to allow myself the liberty again to explore, to discover, to understand, and just recognize the original origin of it all. And that in itself has equipped me because it activates on its own. So I'm just thankful for having you as a point of contact on these YouTube streets and as a friend now, and just be able to have somebody to intercept and also be another point of reference on my journey and say, I knew I wasn't losing it. Oh my gosh, it is similar. So it's just been wonderful. And also, too, again, not throwing away the baby with the bathwater, but like looking at my upbringing and saying, you know what, this was valuable, and I can still utilize some things in addition to releasing a whole lot that no longer serves me and continue forward. So I'm here, to bring awareness, share love, encourage, exemplify, inspire, and do it in sincerity. Literally an acronym out of my name, Alexis. I am all things in real time. I'm interchangeable, interdimensional. I release fear. My mindset has switched literally. And when we do that work also too historically now and look at the origins, we can recognize and say, you know what? This is tainted. Why am I outsourcing my power? I've been taught to behave this way, but who am I? And that's what I want to leave our audience with. So shout out to the viewers. I can't see any comments, but bless everybody in this chat. May you continue to flourish. May you continue to thrive. May you continue to grow in your own personal affairs. Be strong psychologically, emotionally, spiritually fit, and continue to be proud of yourself, because that internal dialogue and how you reinforce yourself and self-dignity, self-respect, self-pride, self-esteem, and that self-actualization is going to continue to go forward with each decision you make that's beneficial for your welfare. So thankful for my mom, thankful for my dad, thankful for all the good and the bad. People can only love us and give us what they have. So with that being said, Shaka, thank you again for the opportunity, to your beautiful, beautiful lady, to your beautiful daughter, letting me see you stress for a moment. Because woo, sometimes I feel like I'm alone. I at the time I asked God for patience, and I got a whole son. I said, what part of the game is this?
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to have done this,
Yeah.
and I don't want to make you late.
Yeah.
So what I'm planning to do is just once again share your links, and then I want to share your music video for single mom rock.
Yes, yes. And one more thing in closing, black power to the chat. Black power to the chat. When I say black power, I say black empowerment, pride, dignity, respect, not death, domination, and destruction. So, black power to everybody in the chat right now. Know yourself and remember who you are.
Thank you very much. And of course, usually I put the comments, but this time it's only when you mention it that I just put them through the screen. But there's been some comments there.
Okay.
So Sister Alex, she has to do some counseling. But thank you once again.
Yes.
This is her book, and actually I will put the music video, and then I will put the links in the chat as the music video plays. So
Beautiful.
take care, sister, and
Thank
we
you.
stay in touch, okay? Hmm.
Always. Thank you, and peace to the chat.
Okay, hotep, sister. So I'm just about to share her music video, Single Mom Rock. And now let's do it like this. I almost made that mistake. I don't think the sound is playing, so let me do it again. That's it. So
Like Sam, Alex Little coming through, representing the 517. Michigan stand up, this that SMR. Single mom rock. Let's go.
It's alright. It's alright. I'm sticking by your side. Through this thing called life. It's alright. It's alright. I'm sticking by your side. Through this thing called life.
I had to make a change. I'm headed for the best. I had to manifest my thoughts and take a chance at death. My life has been so blessed. Creator working through me. All the ups and downs, my life is like a constant movie. My baby boy was born early, over 9 weeks. Lying in the incubator, fighting just to breathe. I chose grad school, no more flipping poles. Crawling on them stages, sugar in my nose. I was the rose that broke through the concrete. All the pressure and the stresses activated me. They're like, is she black? Is she white? I'm like, I'm just trying to live life right. Haters hating hard. I'm on my day job. Midnight shift. I'm up here building cars. Board certified, but in a factory. This season in my life right now is meant for mastery. So many years of avoiding looking in the mirror. Now my vision 2020 couldn't be any clearer. Out of sight, out of mind. I've been on my grind. Everything I put my mind to will not decline.
It's alright. It's alright. I'm sticking by your side. Through this thing called life. It's alright. It's alright. I'm sticking by your side. Through this thing called life.
As a little girl, my mom would balance checkbooks. Smoky links for breakfast, all say homemade cookbooks. Never went without, even when in doubt. My mom provided for my siblings, taking out her mouth. And now I pay it forward for my daughter and my son. Even though the battle started, I know that I won. Internal self-reflection grants opportunity to rise above the anguish and set your soul free. We have to make healthy choices that reflect wealth. What good is knowledge unapplied and sitting on the shelf? Grasp determination, seek that inner drive. Don't be afraid of the fame, ignite your life. Be the person that you need while you reach up. Keep a smile on your face even if life's tough. I know you're isolated, just keep your head up. Fight through this season and keep your love tough.
It's alright. It's alright. I'm sticking by your side. Through this thing called life. It's alright. It's alright. I'm sticking by your side. Through this thing called life.
Straight out the 517. Single mom, stay strong. Single man, rock too. We know you're doing the best you can. You're not alone. Your kids love you. We love you. And most importantly, love yourself.